We'll move on to the next topic. Today's topic will continue with the Wi-Fi. We'll continue with the protocols. Already we have discussed what are the protocols available for making communication. I hope you will be remembering all the protocols like TCP/IP, Telnet, and then VoIP, IRC, H.323. All those protocols we have discussed already. Today we'll move on to the next thing, that is Wi-Fi. Actually, Wi-Fi stands for wireless fidelity. We can classify this Wi-Fi like wireless fidelity and Wi-Fi hotspot. I hope you people are familiar with hotspot. Everyone is using hotspot. Actually, this Wi-Fi hotspot, next wireless fidelity Wi-Fi hotspot. I hope everyone knows hotspot. If you have data, you can share your data with somebody else with the help of hotspot. Everyone knows. Actually, Wi-Fi hotspot, from a single device we can connect only to the 10 devices. Wi-Fi hotspot can be used with or without hotspot. I hope everyone is familiar. I need not explain about this hotspot. Another thing is wireless fidelity Wi-Fi. You people are familiar with Wi-Fi also, but I don't know how much you are very clear. Actually, Wi-Fi is a protocol that allows devices to connect to the internet without direct line from your device to ISP. Actually, we'll be getting direct line from our ISP. ISP stands for Internet Service Provider. Everyone knows who are the Internet Service Provider. Few examples of ISPs are Telnet, Airtel, what is that, BSNL, Jio, all those things will be called as ISP. From ISP, we'll be getting a direct line to any one device. From that device, we'll be sharing that internet connection with more systems. That is only our Wi-Fi. Actually, our Wi-Fi will cover the maximum area of 100 meters. The transmission speed will be 54 Mbps. It is mostly used in LAN application. Wireless fidelity will be mostly used in LAN application. We'll be placing an Wi-Fi. From that Wi-Fi, we'll be getting a network connection. Most probably will be using only in case of LAN application. This Wi-Fi will be using radio wave for radio wave spectrum for transferring data. This is only Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi stands for wireless fidelity. It is a protocol which will be allowing more than one device to access our internet without any direct line from our ISP. The maximum coverage area of this Wi-Fi is 100 meters. Transmission speed is 54 Mbps. It is mostly used in LAN application. It uses radio wave spectrum. That is only wireless fidelity. Next, we'll move on to Wi-Fi hotspot. Wi-Fi hotspot, just now we have discussed. A hotspot is a venue. First, you want to understand what is a hotspot. Hotspot is a venue that offers Wi-Fi access. Just consider, if I turn on my hotspot, then it's my mobile will be the venue which will be offering Wi-Fi access. With the help of that, we can share our internet through Wi-Fi hotspot. We can set hotspot with or without password. Mobile can connect up to 10 devices with the hotspot. However, it depends up to the type of devices. We cannot say confirm depending upon the devices. That is only Wi-Fi hotspot. Next, we'll move on to the next topic, WiMAX. Actually, Wi-Fi will use a protocol H802.11x protocol. WiMAX 802.16y protocol. WiMAX stands for Wireless Interoperability for Microwave Access. WiMAX stands for Wireless Interoperability for Microwave Access. Actually, in Wi-Fi will be using radio waves, but in WiMAX will be using microwaves. WiMAX mostly used in MAN application, metropolitan area application. It will be covering large area up to 900 kilometers. But Wi-Fi it will be covering only 100 meters, but WiMAX it will be covering 90 kilometers. The transmission speed also, in case of Wi-Fi it is 54 Mbps, in case of WiMAX it is 70 Mbps. So you want to understand very clearly what is the difference between Wi-Fi and WiMAX. Wi-Fi will use radio waves for transferring data. In case of WiMAX will be using microwaves. In case of Wi-Fi it will be covering only 100 meters, but WiMAX it will be covering more, that is 90 kilometers, 100 meters, 90 kilometers, as well as the maximum speed is 54 Mbps. Here it is 70 Mbps. We want to understand very clearly what is the difference between Wi-Fi and WiMAX, as well as what is that Wi-Fi hotspot. That's all this chapter got over. Now we'll move on to the next chapter, that is network security concepts, introduction to web services and e-commerce. Until now what we were discussed, those things are basics of computer networks. What is computer network, what are the advantages, disadvantages, what are the different types of networks, what is topology, what are the classifications of topology, what is protocol, what are the different protocols available in our network, as well as we have discussed what is Wi-Fi, WiMAX, Telnet, remote login, as well as we have discussed switching techniques. All those concepts we have discussed in previous chapter, that are fundamentals of computer networking. The advanced concept of this computer, that is very very important concept of this computer networking, is computer network security. Now we'll move on to the next chapter, that is computer network security. In this chapter we'll be discussing about network security concepts, introduction to web services and e-commerce. Now we'll be seeing what is network security concepts. It's very important activity. Whenever we are going for a network connection, security is mandatory. Depending upon the security of a particular network, we can decide how much efficient that particular network is. So network security is one of the activity which is designed to protect our data, as well as our personal things which we are going to send inside the network. Actually not only data, it will be concentrating on hardwares also. So network security is mainly implemented for concentrating for protecting our hardware as well as software inside our network. Actually, effective network security manages access to the network. It targets a variety of threats in the sense issues or some problems, and stops them from entering or spreading on your computer. With the help of this network security only, we'll be protecting our computer from those various threats, and as well as it will be stop functioning of the threats, and it will be preventing our computer from these threats. The threats to network security are virus, worms, Trojan horse, and spam. We have discussed all these topics already. Virus, what is virus? Everyone knows what is virus. Virus is also a program which will be damaging our computer. What type of program is that? It's a malicious program which damages our data or files which is present inside our computer. So you can understand, virus is a malicious code or a program that causes damages to data and files on the system. Like it will be attaching some unwanted program with the original program, or some other file with the original thing. Like it will be corrupting, it will be spreading from one computer to another computer by leaving infection by traveling. Some viruses causes only annoying effects like changing desktop icons, while others will damage our hardware, software, and files which is present inside our computer. Almost all virus will are attached to the executable file. It means the virus cannot infect your computer unless you run or open a particular program. Most of the virus will be like, once if you are opening that particular app, our entire system will be corrupted. Until we are opening our file, nothing will happen to our computer. Most of the virus will be like that, not all the virus. Few virus it will be like without opening, if you are turning our computer on, automatically that virus will start spreading. Few virus, not all the virus, but most of the virus will be spreading through executable program. Like if you are executing a program, automatically that virus will start corrupting our computer. It means computer virus cannot spread without any human activities. I hope you'll be understanding what is virus. Virus stands for vital information resource under SAGE. You just understand what is virus. Virus is like a program what we are creating, but it will be affecting our hardware as well as software which is present in our computer. That is only virus. Now we'll move on to the next topic, damages caused by the virus. What are the damages caused by the virus? First thing is, it will be deleting the files and it invade your email program. Like first we'll see how it will be damaging our files. Damaging in the sense, either it will be corrupting or deleting the file. Some virus may delete the files, or some virus may damage or documents or specific file, which is mandatory for which is mandatory to execute our computer. Which file is mandatory to execute our computer? Our operating system. Operating system is an important thing which will be our operating system only very important and mandatory file to boot our computer. If our operating system file is getting corrupted, then we cannot boot our computer. So our booting process will be starting depending upon our operating system only. So if any problem happens, or if any file is missing in our operating system pack, or if any file is corrupted in our operating system pack, then entire process will be getting problem. Like it will not be, our system will not get boot, or some hardware will not function. Like all those issues will be facing. That is only our causes happened by virus. This is one of the damage caused by the virus. Next thing is, invade your email program. Some forms of virus may break even more havoc by spreading themselves to contact in your address book. Like unwanted mails will be sending from your mail to the particular address book. All those things will happen. That is also damage caused by the virus. Next we'll move on to the next topic. What are the preventive measures we have to protect from the virus? I hope you will be understanding the first threat security virus. What is virus, how it will be, and then what are the damages caused. Now we'll be seeing what are the preventive measures we have for overcome this virus. We'll use antivirus software. That is the main thing. That is the first preventive measures we'll be using to protect from virus. We'll use antivirus software. Our antivirus software will scan our computer and it will be detecting the virus whether it is present or not. If our PC is not infected by virus, it will be showing the message it's normal. Like it will not blink any message, it will be showing a message scanned okay. But if it is affected, then will be facing a lot of problems. Or antivirus software will show and we can delete the corrupted thing. And then how to overcome all those things? Will be using antivirus software and will be scanning our computer, will be detecting the virus and will be deleting the virus files. That is one of the thing. Another thing is, if we are not using internet connection, we need to disconnect then and there if we are not using. And then if we are getting any notification to update our antivirus software, it should be updated properly. Then only our antivirus software can detect the virus. So it is very important, regular updation of antivirus software. And then don't download or open unknown mails or unknown apps. If any pop-up menu is blinking to show some ads or something, don't open, don't install it. And then don't click on a link in email, rather type the link in a address bar. don't click on link. If we are getting any link in your mail, don't click on that link and don't open it. Go to the address bar, open the link, and then disconnect the internet if you are not using it. Disable the cookies if possible. If you are not, always disable the cookies if possible, because through cookies most of the virus can be spreaded. I hope you will be understanding what is this virus and how to prevent, what are the damages, all those things. Now we'll move on to the next topic, that is worm. As we have discussed already, worm is a self-replication program which will be occupying more memory, which will be what is that, unnecessary memories will be. You just imagine, if I have stored a file of 5 KB, our memory capacity is 20 MB. If any unnecessary file, that is, if it is replicated, the single file, if it is replicated more than 20 times or 30 times, automatically our entire memory will be occupied. That is only worm virus. Worm virus is a self-replication program which eats up the entire disk space or memory. A worm keeps on creating its copy until all the disk space or memory is filled. Until our disk space is filled, it will be keep on creating the same file a number of times. So automatically our memory will be getting filled, our system will be getting hang. Worms harm to a computer or a computer network by consuming bandwidth and slow down the network speed. Similarly, if our memory is occupied, automatically our computer network speed also will be getting decreased, or bandwidth also will be very slow. So after the worm has infected a system, it can be propagated to other system via internet or while copying files from one system to another system without user interaction. Need not interact with the user, automatically the file will be transferring from, if you are using internet, the file will be transferring from one place to another place through internet. Or if you are copying any file from one computer and if you are pasting into other computer, automatically this worm file will be, a worm virus will be spreaded. So we have to be very careful. Whenever we need internet, we have to use it, or otherwise we need to disconnect it. Similarly, if you are using any external devices to transfer files from one computer to another computer, ensure that device must be scanned before using to the computer with the help of our antivirus software. You can remember worm virus very easily, that is self-replication. It will be occupying our memory. What are the damages and preventive measures for worm? Damages, as we have discussed already, it eats up entire disk space or memory, and it consumes network bandwidth and slows down the network speed. Prevention is use total security software like scan the PC using option boot time scan, update regularly. Avoid inserting infected pen drives. Use total security software and scan the PC using the option boot time scan. Boot time scan is the best preventive measure for worm virus. And update your antivirus software regularly, as well as avoid infected pen drives. These are the preventive measures we can use for worm virus. You can remember it very easily. Worm self-replication. It will be occupying more memory. Next, we will move on to the next topic, Trojan horse. Trojan horse is also one of the program that appears harmless, such as text editor or utility program, but actually performs malicious functions such as deleting or damaging the file. We cannot identify whether it is a infected file or not, but yeah, damages caused by what is that, our worm virus is like, it will be occupying the entire disk. Next, we have seen this Trojan horse in next class. I hope you will be understanding. A small work to you people, just to find out few examples, like write 3 or 4 examples where we are getting worm virus as well as where we are getting normal virus. Just write few examples of where we are getting these such kind of virus and write it in your homework note. Maintain a separate homework note for doing everyday homework, or otherwise you better write it in your observation note by mentioning title as homework and write all these questions. Thank you.